What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. So for those of you who have not been sitting under a rock, you know that the former president is currently going up on trial in New York. The jury pool has been picked, and I believe the trial will be beginning on Monday. Now, there was some breaking news. A man set himself on fire outside of the Trump trial courthouse. It's crazy, right? But the story from the Daily Mail UK is a man has set himself on fire outside of the Donald Trump trial in horrifying scenes. The dramatic moment took place on day 4 of the former president's hush money trial in Manhattan. NYPD officers arrived after the man doused himself in gasoline and set himself ablaze in front of the world's media as well as horrified onlookers. Shocking videos showed the as yet unidentified man twitching on the ground while engulfed in flames before another man ran over with a fire extinguisher. Several networks, including CNN, were broadcasting live at the time. It described the disturbing scenes as they unfolded. Witnesses described the incident as a political protest, although it was not clear what side he was on. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing because it's I'm not laughing because it's funny, because it's not, but I'm sorry. This is just insane. The man was seen throwing flyers on Trump and Biden around before dousing himself and setting himself ablaze, bystanders said. Footage showed the man dropping to his knees with his hands behind his head while the blaze raged. After a few minutes, dozens of police officers rushed over and tried to smother the flames. The man, who appeared to be alive, was loaded into an ambulance and rushed away. An eyewitness said, "I've never seen something like that in my life." Another one says, "I was crossing the park and saw a fire, and then it just ignited. People were screaming and trying to use a fire extinguisher to put the fire out. It was just completely out of the blue." He started throwing brochures around and then poured gasoline on himself, 2 or 3 gallons. Do you know how much gasoline that is? Like, seriously, 2 or 3 gallons of gasoline. He took out a match or lighter and set himself completely on fire. He kneeled down as if he was praising somebody. He didn't say anything. It was awful. Why would anyone do that to themselves? I wish we never came this way now, someone said. And police said they're still working to understand the full circumstances. Obviously, this is someone that has a huge mental health disparity, okay? I don't care if the person is a Republican, a Democrat, or a MAGA. I don't really hear about independents doing stuff like that, do you? But this is insane. And, and just speaking of insane, since the jury pool has been picked, there's been one person who was literally outed by someone on Fox News because they did give descriptions of the jurors that were picked, but no names have been given. But based on the information and the way the guy on Fox News was putting it out there, he was pretty much outing this person, and to make it seem like this was what he quoted, liberal hack that was put on the jury pool to try to take Donald Trump down. This is going to be insane because this is the first time in the history of this nation that there has been, I believe, a former president that has been put on trial. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because the way I feel about it is you're not above the law. You're a human being and citizen, just like the rest of the human beings and citizens in this nation. And all of this talk about this unjust justice system, I didn't hear any of that speak when all of the stuff that's been going on for centuries has been going on when it comes to the minority communities. So he is not a victim, okay? I don't want to hear it. But it's funny to me because the majority of the people that are crying, for this dude, they are the ones that would be seen as the least of these, if you will. So with all of that being said, and this woman saying, look, I know I was picked, but I don't want to be a part of this. I want out. And she was dismissed from the jury pool. And then another woman, she broke down crying because of the intimidation that she said she was feeling from just the mere looks from this man looking over at them, because it was that feeling of, you know what, I don't know what's going to come next, but I know that the things that he says and spews just on his own social media outlet, it stirs people up to go the extra mile to fend for him. And it's crazy. So he's spending his time when they're having their lunch breaks. I guess they call it truthing. I'm not on Truth Social, but the Truth Social truthing, quote unquote, about everything, since Judge Mershon is railroading me at breakneck speed in order to completely satisfy his friends. Additionally, he has gagged me so that I cannot talk about the most important of topics, including his totally disqualifying conflict of interest and taking away my constitutional right of free speech. Almost every legal scholar and expert has stated that there is no case that this is a scam brought about by a corrupt district attorney, Alvin Bragg, who has let violent crime in New York flourish at levels never seen before, working with crooked Joe Biden's DOJ in order to harm his political opponent, me. This is election interference at a level never seen before in the United States of America. That type of stuff. And you've got people on the jury that are pretty much in fear. He's fallen asleep in court. I know he loves to call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, but now some people are calling him Don Snorleone. This is a mess. It really is. But the juror that was dismissed after, anxiety, and another one that, broke out in tears, it just made me start to wonder and think, because this is a situation where we have never seen anything like this before, and most people know how this dude is. No, he should not be above the law. If he committed crimes, he should be held accountable for those. I'm not saying that he should get off, but unfortunately, it's not looking like they're going to put him in jail for these times that he has committed offenses, and he's being held in contempt. They're fining him, which he probably won't pay the money, but putting him in jail, I don't even think he's going to end up getting put in jail or prison if he is convicted. I just don't ever see that happening to him, honestly. But what I will say is, I know that the system is supposed to be set up that you are tried by a jury of your peers. He's saying his peers are not in New York City. But to be honest with you, this is my personal opinion, I don't really think that he could get a fair trial by a jury, whether it is in New York or in Alabama, okay? Because you're either going to get the majority of the people that hate him, or he's going to be in an area where the majority of the people love him for their own intents and purposes. So maybe this should be a situation where he doesn't get a jury, but it's a trial by judge, where the judge is the one that is handing down the convictions if there is a conviction, or to say that he's not guilty. Because I don't think it's fair for people, regular people, who are just trying to conduct their civic duty, being a part of a jury pool, getting paid nothing, taking time out of their lives, and they're having to be placed in situations where they're being intimidated and they're put in fear. And you've got all these nut jobs and crazies out here that are going to be coming for them based on information that ultimately may leak to the public about who they are. And if it doesn't come down in their favorites' favor, that they're going to try to come for these people. I don't think that regular everyday citizens should be put in harm's way because of the crimes that he has been alleged to have committed. And yeah, put him on trial. But I feel like the judge should be the one to hear everything out. And he should be the one, just because these circumstances are things that we just have never seen before. It's just nuts out here, because them slapping him on the wrist saying, okay, Donald, bad boy, you can't talk about the judge's family. Stop talking about the judge's daughter. Don't talk about the jury. Don't put these people in harm's way. He doesn't care about that, because he knows that he just gives a wink and a nod and tell the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, that these people are going to be coming for these people. And I just don't think it's fair for these people. And I can understand why that person, whoever they were, broke down in tears out of intimidation. Okay. I just feel that these trials, these are extenuating circumstances when it comes to stuff like this, where I just don't feel like they should be put on the hook. We already had the experience with the E. Jean Carroll trials, where he was sued for defamation and he was found guilty of, what was it? Sexual assault or whatever it is. As I know he's suing George Stephanopoulos right now, because he said George Stephanopoulos said he did the R word and he wasn't convicted of that or whatever. So listen, I'm just talking about what was said. I don't have that case in front of me, so I'm not going to say the wrong thing. But they already had that situation and that experience with those juries. But I feel like when it comes to this stuff, where he feels like this is election interference and all this other stuff that he's like wah, 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 crybaby, angry about, and getting his followers riled up, I don't think that the jury should be even a thing. I feel like it should be a trial by judge. That's my personal opinion. I don't know, but I just feel like that's the way it should have been, because I don't see any of these people. I'm not in the courtroom. I don't know who any of these people are, but just hearing about it and reading about it and hearing them talk about it on the news, I just can feel the tension. And I feel sorry for those people. I really do. I hope and pray that this is of no consequence to them and they can just live their lives and live long and prosper after this whole ordeal is done. But I don't really believe anybody that's on that jury pool wanted to be picked. I'm quite sure that the people that were picked, they may have probably tried to answer questions in a way where they would not be picked and still got picked, So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about this craziness. Let me know what you think about this person that doused themselves in 2 or 3 gallons of gasoline and set themselves ablaze. Do you feel like that person was protesting on behalf of Trump, or protesting saying, I want this man to be convicted and put underneath the jail? What do you guys think? And what do you feel about this trial by jury? Let me know how you feel about all of it in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.